What's going on, guys? Welcome back to episode 9 of The Fade. Once again, I'm joined by my colleagues Steve Laurie, Ethan McLeod, and Dylan Pupo. We're missing Cam Britt this week. A little bit sick. Might have hit the Chiefs cold that they're catching, but hey, we're going to go on without him. Super Bowl predictions, guys. What do we got for this Sunday? I know most of us here are Birds fans. What do we got here going on with the Chiefs-Eagles? Honest opinions.
Eagles are going to win, dude, just because all the injuries and stuff going around with the Chiefs, and now everybody's getting sick over there, and it's just they're banged up right now, man. It's not the Eagles are for the most part fully healthy, and I saw that they're slight favorites to win the game, but I'm either way, man. Honestly, I'm rocking with the Eagles this one. It's not even because I'm a fan; it's just because I think they're the more dominant team in the matchup.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a good matchup, and with the Chiefs being banged up, obviously, like with Chris Jones and them like getting an illness, that's not going to help their defense out, and they need all the defensive line they can get against our O-line. But honestly, with offense, I think Mecole Hardman was just ruled out earlier today. I don't think that really matters too much because Mahomes lost Tyreek Hill and look where he's back in the Super Bowl. So I don't think that really matters as long as he has Travis Kelce. But
and MVS
they might struggle a little bit defensively, but I think it should be a good matchup on both sides.
From the get-go, once we were doing predictions for the NFL playoffs, I was going with my heart a little bit. Not a little bit, a lot of it. The entire playoffs, I was just going with my heart. I wanted Burrow to lose, so I was taking Josh Allen. I wanted the Cowboys to win, so I was taking the Cowboys. And every time I wanted the Eagles to lose, so I was saying they're going to lose this week. They're going to the Giants had no shot. I just was trying to go with the prediction. But this time it's just different. I just think the Eagles are the team. They're the better overall team. They're the more healthy team. And at this time of the year, a lot of it does come down to health. I mean, I think that the Chiefs have a chance. They have Patrick Mahomes under center. You have a chance, but I just think it's going to be too much to handle. It will be a close game. It will be a shootout, but I'm taking the Eagles this one.
And Dylan, we hope you're not saying this because Micah Parsons put his input and said bring one back to the NFC East. We hope you're not following in his footsteps.
When I see that, I see everyone saying Micah wants to be an Eagle. Like, Eagles fans. He's a big Cowboys guy.
Grew up a Dallas fan, yeah.
Honestly, thanks, Dylan, for giving the Birds a little bit of your prediction. We thought maybe a little bit of bias sort of came with it. I'm hoping we don't get jinxed here because, the last couple weeks was what you've been thinking. Hasn't really been in the NFL script, as I should say. So I don't know if Goodell's been watching this and saying, this Dallas fan needs a little rude awakening, but whatever. I'm going my prediction. I'm going Philly. Not just because I'm an Eagles fan. I was trying to think of scenarios today where there's a chance that the Chiefs might win this. I think if Mahomes goes off, yeah. But I think their run game's going to get absolutely dwindled down. But, if I had to go and take my dark horse for it, I would take maybe an Isaac Pacheco. Or I don't think they're going to have that, receiver that's going to really do anything. They don't really have speed if Hardman's out. So there's no one that's really a downfield threat. Scanley, all right, but – yeah, I'm taking Philly in this, and I'd love to hear your guys' opinions on opinions on a dark horse for the Super Bowl, maybe MVP or who do you think's going to produce besides their big, star players?
For the Eagles, dude, I think Devontae Smith has played in these type of games before. He won a high school state championships. He's played in national championships, and he's about to play in a Super Bowl. He just has the experience in high stakes games, and I think he's going to be one to keep an eye on in this game. And the Chiefs don't really have corners, man. I think they have two rookie corners going against A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith.
I think McDuffie's out, right? Or is
Yeah,
he?
so that's going to be a major, major problem for them. Even if they do start doubling AJ Brown, that's just going to open up the room for Skinny. So I think, yeah, I think he's my dark horse for Philly. And like you said, I think Isaiah is a nice little dark horse for Kansas City because he's been playing pretty good in the playoffs, man. And I had pretty high hopes with him in the beginning of the season. I know Eddie did too. And Ethan, go ahead.
Well, first of all, I think McDuffie is playing. I think he's full.
Yeah, I didn't know if he was
yeah.
questionable. I know he was questionable. I didn't know. I know they marked Hardman out, but I didn't know if that McDuffie.
I think McDuffie was a full participant today.
All right.
Well, I actually have two bold predictions. All right. So Super Bowl 52, we all know the Eagles won. They beat the Patriots 41-33. I think it'll be the same score. 41-33.
No way.
Yeah. It's in the script. I mean, they released a script that said it was going to be 37-34.
Yeah, see, I've been seeing a 37-34 going around.
Well,
Yeah.
obviously they want to release that so everyone puts their bets on that and loses money.
Yeah.
So that's one. Another like player prop stat that I like. I think for some reason Jerick McKinnon's going to score 2 touchdowns. I think that the Chiefs are going to be behind in the second half, and Mahomes is going to be dumping the ball off because he's going to have pressure in his face. I think they'll have Jerick McKinnon in more of the passing situations than Pacheco, and I could see him, scoring out for two touchdowns.
So for the Chiefs, I have a little weird one, but my player is Kadarius Toney. I'm going with Kadarius. I think I don't know how healthy Juju is, if he's even going to be playing, but I think someone needs to step up in the receiving corps. And they traded for a midseason, so I think Kadarius is a great athlete, and I think he'll end up having a decent game. And for the Eagles, I'm going with Kenneth Gainwell. I mean, like, there's going to be a bunch of rushing touchdowns in the game, and I think he's just due for at least one, and I think he'll have a decent game. So that's my guy for the Eagles.
I'm taking Ethan. I like that McKinnon. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, Jerick McKinnon's been stepping up, dude. He got forgot about for a while after he left Minnesota, and was supposed to be this stud when he got picked up by San Fran a few years ago. But I'm still gonna stick with Pacheco possibly, and I'm gonna say this: the game-winning touchdown is gonna come from Boston Scott. You heard it here first. And I'm not really that big of a Boston Scott guy, but the game-winning touchdown is going to come from Boston Scott.
I like
that.
Yeah, I think
Boston Scott.
The Eagles, they get beat a lot. They don't really get beat by like the physical running backs. They get beat by like the speed guys, like off the edge. If there's if there's one place you could beat the Eagles defense, it's off the edge. If you can get around that contain, you could break free.
Yeah. I can definitely see them throwing like stuff out to the outside, like little dump off screens to McKinnon, and he tears it up. But like for Kansas City, they need to get up early in this game. If that's just like my mindset, like for Kansas City, they need to get up really early in this game. Both teams do, but for Kansas City, knowing they're not fully healthy, and like Dylan said, this is a game about like towards the end of the season. It kind of comes down to who's more healthy. Like, do we think Pat Mahomes is fully healthy with his ankle? I wouldn't say fully healthy, but I would say the Eagles are going to be pressuring him a lot, so it is what it is with that.
Yeah, I think that the Eagles actually have to get off to a fast start more than the Chiefs do, because all season the Eagles they've been up.
What time of possession?
They've been up by 14 plus at the end of the half for most games. So I think like for them to be like in their spot, in their groove where they're used to being, I think they have to be up early. But the Chiefs, like they're used to being in close games. Like they play down to the level of their opponent most of the times. Like we saw earlier this year, they barely beat the Texans in overtime, and then the next week they could beat the best team.
See, the only reason I said Philly needs to jump off to that is because a lot of people are. I know the Eagles are favored it, but a lot of people are taking Kansas City in this game just because of two specific people, Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. That's why I feel like they need to really get started because once the Eagles, which are I am going to say they are the best defense in this league right now. Once they keen in on Travis Kelce, and like I said, there's no McCole Hardman that can run these big, deep routes and open up the field. Besides maybe MVS, if they get up to a big lead, they need Philly to throw the ball. Philly is the best rushing team in the league. That's why I mean they need to get up early in this game because you want Philly throwing the ball. No offense to Jalen Hurts, I love him. But to be honest, most teams would rather have him just keep throwing, even though he's been proven he can sling the rock this year. Most teams now want him in this situation, in big situations. Can he throw? Last week I think he had less than 200 yards in the championship game, and he didn't even throw a tutty. So again, that's where it's going to come. Get up early so he can throw the ball.
I think he is going to end up throwing for a lot, though, because let's face it, Jalen Hurts isn't going to win the MVP. I think he's upset about that, and I think he wants to come back and win the Super Bowl MVP here. I think he's going to throw for 250, maybe 300, maybe for a couple touchdowns, maybe have one rushing. But that's asking for a lot in a Super Bowl from a guy that has no experience in it, so we'll see what happens. But I'm hoping for it.
I mean, if it's going to be a close, I don't think you should want it to be like close at all because in a shootout, I'm taking Pat Mahomes. I am, and I think like you guys said, the Eagles need to get into it with a lead so they could run the ball, keep the ball away from Mahomes, and just keep their lead. If they get behind, if the Chiefs come out and they get up 14, that's exactly what the Chiefs want. I mean, I know you guys say Jalen Hurts is experienced, but like you said, like this year, he hasn't really had to like crawl back into a game. So, I mean, doing that on the biggest stage too, which I don't want to bring it up, but he does have a little bit of history of not playing too great in a big game. I mean, the national championship, he was taken out. So, I mean, if he gets down early, you don't know what psychological like thoughts are going through his head and he can lose his confidence. But I do think the Eagles will end up taking the lead, and I think they'll run the ball a lot more than they throw. But, like I said, if it comes down to throwing the ball, I'm taking the Chiefs if it comes down to a shootout.
I just think, dude, this game for Jalen Hurts is the final piece for his story, dude. If he wins this game and gets a Super Bowl ring, dude, honestly, like that is such a great underdog story, man. Just like look at all the hate this kid took, and now he's an MVP caliber player. He's competing in a Super Bowl against Patrick Mahomes. Like it's just a wild story for me, man. I hope he's going to play long term.
I definitely agree with you, Steve. Like that is a storybook, but I don't think it's a storybook ending. I think this is the start of a career. Like, to be honest, man, like I will be upset if Philadelphia loses this game horribly. But dude, like to be honest, man, no one really expected all of this. We were counted out before anything even happened. So like. But Jalen Hurts, dude, he was the one who was counted out. Like, this guy worked his tail off, dude, weeks in and weeks out. No one could really go and diss him because, dude, like, everyone counted him out. Everyone said, oh, he's a running back, this and that. Like, he can't throw the ball.
I wasn't sold on Jalen Hurts last year.
Like, dude, when he was at the combine, they asked him, they're like, are you willing to go and be transform to a running back? And he's like, no, like, my position is I'm a quarterback. When you watch his interviews, he is probably the most humble guy you can meet. And just like that's why a lot of people like you can't disrespect him, man. Like he's been proving that he's a top quarterback in the league. There's not many quarterbacks that are as humble as that too. And just he's a young quarterback. He's like 24 years old, 24, yeah.
Young leader.
And he's leading the locker room. So I think in all aspect that even if he does lose this game, that there is a contract that should be waiting for him, whether he wins or loses this game.
Well, yeah, Jeffrey Lurie already said that. He came on a couple days ago and he said that Jalen Hurts doesn't have to prove anything else. He's earned his contract, so we'll see how much they offer him in the offseason. Hopefully it's not too much, but
no, I know you guys
are
like Philadelphia goggles, but I honestly, like, I'm not trying to diss him just because I'm a Cowboys fan. I really still have doubts on Jalen Hurts. I think he obviously improved a lot as a passer this year, but like, I mean, like the 2 playoff games he had, and he hasn't thrown for 200 yards. So like that just shows you how like
he wasn't needing to throw the ball though.
They were running the ball heavy, dude.
But that's what I'm saying. Like throughout the year, like fans have been saying, you know, you guys joke the system. I'm not saying it's the system. I'm saying like he has greatness. The Eagles are great all around. They're off. That offense is just great. The offensive line is amazing. He has, you know, weapons everywhere. He's a weapon himself. But I'm just saying, like, so like I'm not completely sold. Like, you know, like if Mahomes sat there in his first year making the playoffs, I'm not saying like, and his first year making the playoffs, the first 2 games he threw for 150 yards and they ran the ball the whole time, made the Super Bowl. I just think people would be like question that a little bit. They'd be like, you know, like we want to see him prove it. I'm not saying Jalen can't, but I want to see it in the Super Bowl. I want to see him prove that
he can sling a rock.
Yeah. Let's see it like when it matters the most, and let's see him actually sling it. I mean, he was doing it during the regular season, but anybody could do it during the regular season.
See, now say this game comes down to where it's like a big defensive battle and it's like a 13-10 game, right? You still get a ring, right? But does that factor to where what they do in the game or where they got him all season? Is it
Tom Brady?
Well, that's where I'm trying to go off of the Tom Brady Super Bowl against the Rams.
Exactly. That's what I think Tom Brady, like they say, like, is Mahomes going to catch him? Like, no, like, unless he's just extremely lucky. I think Brady was lucky. Like, if Malcolm Butler Butler doesn't pick that ball off, Brady loses a Super Bowl. But no, since he did, Brady gets credited with, he won another Super Bowl. It's all over. Brady wins again. Okay, was it really Brady though? Like, no, if it wasn't for the defensive back, it's a team sport. Same thing with, like, you know,
Vinatieri won him a ring. You know, there's multiple times where people bail Tom out. Yeah.
The only Super Bowl he really won himself was against the Falcons.
I mean,
I'd agree with that. Yeah.
And the best Super Bowl he's ever had was against the Eagles, and he lost. Like, that was he threw for 505. Like, that was the best Super Bowl I've ever seen, and he lost. So it just shows that it's just a team sport, and too many times the quarterback gets blamed.
Who the hell was Malcolm Butler then, even after that interception? You know what I mean? Like, no offense to Malcolm, bro. Great play. Like, that's going to be an all-time thing. But
who was he after that? You know what I mean?
That was one play that defined his career. And then after that, dude, he never did anything else.
I was just going to say that he wasn't like a stud corner.
Yeah.
And I think, like, it goes for Jalen Hurts too. Like, if he loses this game, I'm not sitting there saying, like, he's trash. Like, I'm not. Like, he had a great season. Just because you don't win the Super Bowl doesn't mean that you're not a great quarterback or whatever. But I just want to see more of, like – but it's hard to say because he might have this team. I don't know if they're going to lose anybody in this offseason. If they win it, they might lose.
Yeah, they're going to lose a good amount.
They might lose – I mean, like, offensive line and stuff.
Not really offense, but a lot of –
They'll end up losing probably Sayamalu. He's going to probably definitely be gone. And then I'd probably say, like, Sanders. And if he don't come back anything under 10
Sanders really wants to stay, though, man. He might at this point just take the offer that they give him, dude. He really wants to stay in Philly.
Like, say Jalen Hurts had a bad offensive line, like a bad one, like Justin Herbert, right? Like, is he going to struggle a lot more?
See, but you can't necessarily because he did that though, Dylan. His first year when he started taking over for Wentz and last year, their offensive line was weak because there was a lot of injuries. So no one, what I don't like is no one can go and necessarily say, all right, it's because of this and this, the system. When you build good and you build right and you work with your cap room, you do all the right things. What you build around your team is how you do it, and that's thanks to the front office who does that stuff, who goes and restructures contracts, who goes and trades players or puts all this stuff together. He got all the pieces together. If people had, like the Chargers, they had good front office people, they would understand that you can go and build a line, you can go and do all this. Would I love Austin Eckler as an Eagle? You have one of the top 3 to 5 running backs in the league. Receiving running backs, let alone, too, that you dump it off out of the backfield. Imagine all the run after catch that Austin Eckler
That
has.
is true. Yeah, Justin Herbert always has that option to.
Yeah,
dump
I mean,
it off.
I just seen a whole lot of Jalen Hurts standing back there like with nothing, like no pressure at all. Like I'm not saying he hasn't faced any pressure, but I've seen a lot where like he gets back, he catches the snap and he's standing back there and like there's like he's not even in a pocket. Like the Eagles offensive line is a straight line. Like nobody's getting pushed at all. He's just
but that's not his fault. That's not
Yeah, that's not necessarily his fault.
You're taking it the wrong way. I'm not saying
No, I understand.
I'm saying what I want to see. I want to see when he does have to deal with, because you're not going to go your whole career where you're just.
That's understandably so.
And I think the Eagles have such a efficient run game that, like, I was just reading up on something today, and it said how the Eagles are the number 1 team to face man coverage. Yeah, and they're like, why do you think that? They actually asked Devontae, and they're like, why do you think that you guys are the number 1 team to face man coverage when you have you, Dallas Goedert, AJ? And he's like, well, because we could run the ball. Like, so like you either could let us run the ball and play like zone, and then we're gonna eat the clock, or you could just play man so we can try to stop our run, make us throw. At least it gives you some time with the ball. Like at least you get the ball back. So like I said, I mean, that's also another thing that benefits a quarterback. If you have man coverage with great receivers, you're gonna end up having easy, wide open receivers a lot of the time.
Yeah. I mean, when's the last time you saw an MVP caliber quarterback on a bad team? It really doesn't happen.
Not yet.
Because Ethan, you know it best. You know it best that even in the NBA, there's very good players that don't get considered. There is good players that should be considered MVP, but I agree in the NFL it's different, right?
Yeah, the NFL is definitely the most team sport you can get.
And I think
NBA, a player can go off for 40 and he can carry his team. But the NFL, you need the offensive line blocking, you need the running back blocking, running routes, you need the wide receivers doing their things. You need the whole team behind you to be successful.
And that's what I'm trying to say. Like people take it as a diss because I know you guys like love Jalen Hurts, but it's not even a diss. It's actually a compliment how well built the team is. Like it is. The Eagles are like very well. I think they're the second most complete team in the NFL behind the Niners, but the Niners had to deal with some quarterback injuries. But I mean, I still think they might even be the number 1. It's close.
Dylan, do you think though if Brock Purdy played that game, what was the outcome then going to be?
I think the Niners were going to win, but the Eagles could have won. Like I think it would have been a close game. I think it would have been a pretty good game. Like I don't think the Eagles are blowing out the Niners with Purdy. I don't
think anything could have stopped Tom Reddick wreaking that havoc.
I swear to God, I said this a while ago. I said, dude, Brock Purdy is gonna get it, dude. Like he had his wake up call, and that was no offense. Like I'm not saying this as just an Eagles fan. He would have got destroyed that game, and I'm not joking. That game he would have got absolutely obliterated. Even, dude, no offense to Josh Johnson, but Josh Johnson could have done something. But he didn't even have time to throw the ball. He's getting nailed. The Eagles just have a good D line, man.
Josh Johnson couldn't catch a snap.
One time.
He was chopping snaps.
Yeah, he was over on the sidelines, bro, eating popcorn. He didn't expect to come in.
Your fingers were a
Team
little.
Glizzy.
Yeah, he was dizzy.
What do you guys think of like all the 49ers players like Ayuk and Kittle coming out and saying like, yeah, if we had a quarterback, we would have won. Things would have been different.
I think at this point they're just acting how, I mean, a normal team would, but now they're just kind of acting like sore losers, man, because Brandon Ayuk saying, oh, I'd bet everything that I own, my house, my cars, whatever. Like, no, you wouldn't, bro. You would not bet everything you own. Like,
That's right, Lori.
they're just talking the talk, bro. And at this point, you're just being a sore loser. I mean, Kittle's a great player, don't get me wrong, but just you don't know what the outcome would have been just because of Brock Purdy. You know what I mean? Brock Purdy could have choked that game. You know what I mean? Could have threw 2-3 interceptions if he didn't get hurt. You know what I mean? You can't just say, oh, if we had Purdy, we would have won that game. He got hurt really early on. So you couldn't predict that outcome.
I think
they're acting like it was a close game.
Right. It was a
Like
blowout.
if they scored one more time, they would have won.
Right.
But Dylan was right.
And just not having a quarterback.
Exactly.
I think it comes to like there's a lot of emotions that go into the game and like the whole season and stuff. So I think they're a little bit like hurt right now. Like and then they're just speaking, but like not actually like just like keeping their mouth shut because they like when people like their emotions are high like that, they just speak out of like their heart. But like at the end of the day, like you got to actually sit there and like you can't be saying that. I think you got to eat like a leader like Kittle should just like not be saying anything right now. Should just be getting ready. Like, I mean, not necessarily getting ready for the next season, but like sort of, you know, maybe take your like weeks off or whatever and then get back to it. But I don't know.
Like McCaffrey said, oh, well, I hope both teams lose. Obviously, that's not going to happen.
Well, like, why does he
saying like that's something like that you can actually say to just like joke around? Like Brandon Ayuk is just annoying with it. Like he wasn't even really an impact in playoffs, to be honest with you. So
yeah,
go ahead and bet your house and your cars and stuff, dude. You'll lose it.
Yeah, because I seen Ayuk was like the Eagles whatever never faced anyone like the Chiefs or something like that, and he was like, I'm willing to bet everything on the Chiefs. Go ahead.
Yeah. Like say something like McCaffrey said, dude. That's like funny.
Yeah, like but no offense, man. You're sitting at home, and then who was it from? Was it someone from? Was it Ayuk, dude, who said that he's like, yeah, I'm not even watching the game.
Kittle and
that
said that.
That was Bosa. That was Bosa.
Bosa. Yeah,
he's watching, dude.
Yeah,
like,
okay, man.
Are you kidding, bro? You ain't watching the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Right. It's just, dude, it's just, again, like, that's, like, poor sportsmanship and poor losers. Like, dude, you are willing the week before to go and push little Brett Maher around. Come up to Philly, dude, and, like, tell Jake Elliott that he's not going to do something. You know what I mean? Little Jake Elliott would have started nibbling on their ankles.
They were probably beating up Josh Johnson in that locker room after the game, dude. He couldn't catch a snap to save his mother's life.
Oh, dude. It's a sad because, dude, you look at Josh Johnson and before when he started warming up, Kittle looks over and he just goes like this. He's like, oh. And he looks at Johnson. He's like, let's go, Josh. You got this. And Josh is just looking at everyone. He's like, none of you wanted to talk to me this whole season up until now.
And then he gave him the 13 reasons why mobster.
Yeah.
He'll give it to him.
Poor Josh Johnson, dude. The guy's been a carousel around the league, dude. Had his one opportunity and just squandered it, man. Imagine a story that would have been for Josh Johnson.
Now he's just going to add another team under his belt next year.
Yeah, he'll be 30 in his late 30s still.
He'll be on his fucking 30th team.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
I'm making $2 million a year.
Yeah. Hey, more than a lot of other people are making, but
all right. Enough of the Eagles and their little victory.
All right, yeah, we'll go on then. Is Andy Reid then just quick one? Andy Reid's an all-time great head coach, right?
Yep. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I know this is Dylan's little one here. Is Gronk making the halftime field goal at the Super Bowl? Where would you tell the fans to go and place their bets here? Is it a yes or a no?
I mean, I was just thinking about it, and I was like, I was going back and forth with myself, and I decided he's just gonna make it. He's gonna make it, and he's gonna start running around. The camera's gonna be following him as he runs around with his arms up, and the crowd just gonna be going nuts for him. And when it happens, we're all just gonna cheers our beers as we're watching it on TV.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna win some money doing it.
And you'll be wearing your I don't care shirt.
Are you betting, Dylan? Are you betting on him?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm betting on it.
I'm looking up what the odds are right now.
Steve, are you taking Gronk to hit this?
How far is he kicking this
That's
field goal?
an extra point, like 30, 35 yards.
That's asking a lot from a guy that doesn't kick balls, honestly. like Gronk's the man, dude. He shoots like guns and stuff like that. He's pretty funny. He posts videos. You ever see him shooting that minigun, dude?
Yeah.
The video of him shooting the minigun. He's like, oh yeah, well, he's ripping it.
Well, he said if he makes it, he'll come out of retirement and kick for the Cowboys. He said Jerry Jones.
You would like that.
He said Jerry Jones, give me a call. I'll come out and be a kicker.
They can give him the money they were going to pay Dak.
Dak's being paid, man.
Yeah, I know. He is going to be paid. They're committed to him. They came out and said it.
Do you got the odds there?
I couldn't find it on FanDuel.
Yeah, there's nothing on FanDuel. Probably like these other streaming sites.
Yeah, definitely somewhere.
I'm taking Gronk's not hitting this. No way.
I think he's gonna hit this. I think he'll probably these 2 weeks he's probably been training every day, going out kicking 50 field goals.
Who's holding it, dude?
Years.
Who's holding it? Brady. Imagine Tom Brady holds that, dude.
I mean, I don't know. Someone that was funny that I just thought about is it would be funny if Kevin Hart would hold it because he's just funny and he's an Eagles fan. He'll be there.
Yeah,
I've seen him like interact with Gronk and stuff.
Yeah, I could see him doing something like that.
Yeah. Little Kevin Hart doing something like that.
Roger Goodell, let's get Kevin in there and give me the credit for bringing up the idea.
Hey, if that happens, man, you know you should probably be dancing with Rihanna for the halftime show. You know. But going off of that, we'll go. We're getting off the Super Bowl. We'll go with a little bit of rumors. Chargers need some cap space. They're thinking about releasing Keenan Allen and Khalil Mack. What's your guys' takes on these moves that are coming there?
I think the Keenan Allen one would be a pretty smart move. I mean, given that he had some injury trouble in the beginning of the season, stuff like that. And I mean, Dylan, me and you were talking about how Hopkins could maybe come to Dallas, but think about what Keenan Allen could do over there, man. You know what I mean? If they paid him the right dollar, I think Keenan Allen could be a really good weapon for Dallas over there. I hate to say it because I like Keenan Allen a lot, but he's really good in the slot, man, and so is CeeDee Lamb. But if you have both of them, I think I would put Keenan Allen in the slot still and just let him do his thing and then let CeeDee get better on the outside. So that's definitely something for Dallas to consider. And then Khalil Mack, I wouldn't release Khalil Mack, dude. He is so good, man. Like he's one of the best linebackers in the league, man. There's no way I would get rid of him. There really isn't.
Yeah. I mean, Keenan Allen is making $14 million a year, something like that they'd get off.
Yeah, they get off like $14.5 million if they released him.
I mean, that would be good for them because their cap is not looking too great right now. Yeah, he's when he's been injured, their offense really hasn't been good. So I think that would actually be like a really big loss for them. And Mike Williams, he can't seem to stay healthy either. So
is Williams on his rookie contract, or did they give him like a 3-year something?
No, he's not on the rookie deal.
Yeah, he's not on his rookie deal no more.
So they gave him like a $3 million.
Not more than that.
Or no, not 3 mil. I mean 3 years.
I think so.
Yeah, because I just seen Keenan out or not Keenan, Khalil Mack's making like 24 mil a year with the Chargers, but they converted a little bit over, but they'd save like 24 mil by even releasing him.
I really don't see them getting rid of Khalil Mack, dude. Honestly,
I could.
I don't think he's worth that money, but he is an extraordinary player.
That's
Yeah,
what I
like,
mean.
yeah, like he's a very good player that you would want, but dude, like,
and they
he's-
just got him.
yeah, they got him this last offseason.
Yeah.
He's getting up there in age. He's getting up there in age, and at the same time, dude, you can go and move on, man, and give some of these young guys like you have Joey Bosa, who's a douchebag, but Joey Bosa is he's pretty good actually.
How much is he making?
Bosa, he's on a big deal, I think.
That's what I mean, dude. Like, he hasn't really been. I mean, I think Khalil Mack might even play a little bit better than him.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna get rid of either, like, Khalil Mack or anything, because defensive pass rush is just so big in the NFL. It's like,
Yeah.
it's worth it to have them guys.
That's what I mean.
But like, Keenan Allen, I'm sure that actually probably is a real possibility because he's older. He's 30 something. I don't want to say 33, but I could be wrong.
I don't think he's that
31.
old.
I think he's
like 30, 31.
Okay, but he's in his 30s,
Yeah.
and he just missed how many games this year with a hamstring injury or whatnot?
6 to 8.
I missed a lot of games. Yeah, I had him in fantasy, dude. It sucked having him.
So that's a lot of games you're missing in a year, especially at that age. And for the amount of money he's getting paid, I mean, that's a real possibility. But I don't think Khalil Mack's going anywhere.
I mean, going back to Keenan Allen, he did play pretty good. I mean, when he was in, he wasn't playing terrible. Like, that's what I said. That's what I was saying about Dallas, maybe looking into him if they're trying.
I really like him, but I mean, I don't want Dallas to get him for the simple fact of injury.
He's like a Mike Gallup, though, anyways, too.
It would be another Amari Cooper situation with the ham again.
Yeah.
You know what?
He reminds me of Amari Cooper.
You know who I
Yeah,
think
me too.
might come to town for Dallas, and I don't know how I feel about it. Like, I don't want it to happen, but like, it'd be cool if it worked out. But Michael Thomas.
That would be. I actually saw something about that, dude, like 2 days ago.
The Saints are talking about they're going to cut him or whatnot because he just restructured his deal or something to make like a lot less money, and it made it so that they could cut him or whatever or release him.
He did them good by that, yeah.
And I mean, so I could see him becoming a free agent in the offseason, and that's another guy that you could put that's not going to be in the slot. You're going to have him on the outside and put CD in the slot, and that would work out well. But
that's a good one too, because even if the Saints were to lose him, they have all this young talent that's starting to evolve, so they don't really need to hang on for Michael Thomas that much longer anymore anyway. So I could see that happening for sure. Dude, I think Olave is gonna take over there very shortly, and they already have Kamara. Andy Dalton's not the long-term option over there.
Well, yeah, and just like like we were talking about with Derek Carr, I mean, Derek Carr might be heading that way.
Yeah, they definitely have some tools over there, man. They're pretty close to becoming not a Super Bowl contender, but like a playoff contender.
What do you guys think with the whole Derek Carr stuff?
I think that's a good fit. I think with one of what one of these guys said last week about Winston going to the Bucs.
Dylan said that.
Yeah, I think that's a really good fit for Derek Carr. I think there's a lot of opportunity over there that they're like, again, a quarterback away and maybe a few offensive line pieces away from being a very good team. And that division is very wide open for anyone. I think Derek Carr going to the Saints makes a lot of sense. I didn't think of it in the beginning because, I thought, I think Winston still has another year on that contract. And like Taysom Hill, he's not the quarterback. But Taysom Hill still has like 2 or 3 years still on that big contract he signed. But most of what people don't know about Taysom Hill's contract is most of that was incentives. Like it said 4 years, 160 mil. But most of that was just he has to get incentives to make that money. But Derek Carr, a very good fit for New Orleans, and that's That's crazy because I would have thought maybe he's gonna land as a Panther or a Commander, so or Indy, but
The Saints really are a good fit for Derek Carr, dude. Like you said, you wouldn't really think of this a couple weeks ago because it just, I don't know, it just didn't really come up. But even if they were to lose Michael Thomas, like we were just talking about, they still have the tools to be a great offense. Like Kamara's already proven. Chris Olave is getting there. Like he had a really good rookie season. They have, like you said too, they're only a few pieces on that offense. Like they can use another offensive lineman and just like a couple pieces here and there, but they're very close to becoming a contender, dude. They're a quarterback away. And like I said, not a Super Bowl contender, like a playoff contender.
I also think, dude, with Olave too, you need at least a receiver, because I think who do they have? Deontay Harris, right?
He has his moments. He's not.
I mean, they have Jarvis Landry that could work.
Yeah,
Landry. No offense, I actually like Jarvis Landry. He sucks.
I think he's getting towards the end.
So do I. I feel he's towards the end of his career, and he's a guy that you look at as your fourth wide receiver.
He didn't do
much for the Saints. He didn't do much for the Saints.
Do they have Devontae Parker too?
No, that's the Pats.
Is it the Patriots? That's what I was thinking in the back of my head.
But no, Dylan, I know you might be disagreeing with me. I do not believe that Jarvis Landry is a number 3 anymore.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a little biased with Jarvis. I always liked him. I don't know. He's just one of them guys that just like, we all have those players that we just like them for some unknown reason. We just root for them. But I don't know. I think if I'm Chris Olave, I'm begging the organization right now to get Derek Carr, because if he gets Derek Carr in a couple years, he'll get his money because he's going to have a quarterback that could actually get him the ball.
Yeah, and Derek Carr's proven, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I think Olave is one of the more talented receivers in the NFL. I know he was just a rookie this year and he didn't have that great of a year. He had a very good year for a rookie, but like if he gets a quarterback, look out.
That's what I'm saying, dude. They're a quarterback away like that. And then Kamara too, dude. Kamara is one of the best receiving running backs in the entire league, dude.
I think so. I'd watch out with him.
I think Kamara is getting fed up with New Orleans.
The quarterback situation, I think, dude. I don't think Kamara, ever since they lost Drew Brees, man, he's not getting what he deserves, dude.
He deserves to be playing next year. He might be suspended.
Yeah. And I forgot that they were carrying that over.
That was being postponed for this year, but he's probably in some trouble.
I saw that too. It's a shame.
Yeah, definitely. What I wanted to ask is then what players like that with Derek Carr, Josh Jacobs is now going to say he's going to play under the franchise tag. What about that then? He's like Josh Jacobs?
I really like Josh Jacobs, dude. I've liked Josh Jacobs since he was at Alabama, and I think he's an extremely good fit for Vegas, and I think that they really should tag him and hang on to him as much as possible. He led the league in rushing, obviously. He's young. And he's only going to get better, dude. The Raiders don't really have a line. You know what I mean? Like, he's a young player, dude, just starting to get better and better and better. And he's, like I said, he's proven he led the league in rushing. So why not tag the kid and move forward with him? You know what I mean? He's a really good player, dude. If you don't, he's just going to go somewhere else and do the same thing. He proved that he can do it. He's not doing it with a line. You know what I mean? It's not a Miles Sanders. I mean, I like Miles Sanders. Don't get me wrong. I really do. But it's not a Miles Sanders situation where he's starting to have this breakout year with the best line in the league. It's not the same situation. Josh Jacobs is doing this with literally one good offensive lineman, maybe two. Like, there's not that much talent over there on the line in the Raiders, and you got to hang on to him.
I think that they're doing the right thing. I think franchise tagging him just like Dallas is doing with Tony Pollard. I mean, it just came out that the Cowboys are expected to just put the franchise tag on him, which is exactly what I want them to do. Get one more year out of him, just like the Raiders are going to do with Josh Jacobs, and then get rid of him. You just don't pay the running back. I mean, the franchise tag is set at $10 million. So, I mean, that's still kind of a lot for a running back, but at the same time, it's like at least it's better
But
than
he just led the league. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. Like you
But it's
keep
less than
him for the year that you can.
yeah, but just like Pollard, he had like one really good year. Besides that, it's been like,
Jacobs has always been consistent.
Jacobs has always been consistent. Yeah, and he's the primary running back.
it was
Tony
nothing
Pollard
like,
is not an every down running back.
it was nothing like this year though. This year was,
Spectacular, yeah.
Yeah.
like you could tell it's because it's what they do. Playing for the money, you're gonna play better.
Yeah, I believe it's a big thing, like how Steve said. Pollard may or may not be an every down running back eventually.
He could be, yeah, but
But also he's not in that system to go and be the every down running back. One thing I wanted to go and shoot on, I just want your guys' opinions on this. I was BSing about it the other day, and dude, it just irritates me. I can't wait till this guy gets freed from Houston, Brandon Cooks. That guy was a beast. I just wanted to say this. Shout out to Brandon Cooks. For years, dude, with the Patriots, the Saints, the Rams, he was a freak, a top 5 receiver in the league. Once he went to Houston and chased that little bit of money, he's gone now. No one talks about Cooks. There's a lot of trade rumors, but Houston is not freeing him. And everyone asks him, what do you think about Brandon Cooks? Is he still alive?
yeah.
I think he's 30. I think he's 29 or 30.
I think he's actually 31.
No, he definitely wants out. Like he's come out and said it before. Like it's obvious, but it's just the matter of fact of if they're gonna find something for him.
Do you get?
Like, they're not just gonna let him go and walk.
He might end up coming to Dallas.
I was just gonna say that. Imagine if he went to Dallas, Dylan.
So then where do you think OBJ lands then?
Well, when it comes to Brandon Cooks,
Patriots, maybe.
Before the trade deadline, Dallas was about to trade for him. Like, and it hit 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock is the deadline. They were like the last 2 minutes. Jerry Jones was going back and forth with Houston, and it was like this close. They just couldn't agree because Jerry didn't want to take the full I think he was making $20 million a year or something.
Yeah, he's making a big shit.
It wasn't over anything, how many draft picks or this or that. It was the fact that Jerry was going to have to take all the money that he was worth.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the whole reason they got rid of Amari Cooper. So he now that this year's out of the way, I don't know how much cheaper his contract gets if it does, or if maybe they could work out a deal. But I remember he unfollowed Houston on everything right before the trade deadline. He was mad that he didn't get traded. He was like, this organization's playing with a man's feelings and all this stuff. So he's definitely going somewhere.
I just want to say about the OBJ thing, since we were saying about Cooks, where do you guys think he would honestly end up to? Because I really do kind of see him end up being like a Patriot or maybe even like a Raven.
I couldn't tell you, man. I think that's a big up in the air.
Yeah, the ball's up in the air with him, dude.
Yeah. It was cool. It was cool last year, in the last when he was supposedly coming back. It was cool because then it was all right, the contenders right now that are happening. But I honestly couldn't tell you. Honestly.
I'm honestly not a big OBJ fan, to be honest with you.
I feel like he'll go wherever he wants to, honestly.
Yeah, well, any team's gonna take Odell, Ethan. That's
you
know what I mean.
He's gonna do kind of what LeBron did when he went to the Lakers. He could have went to the Sixers. He could have went to the Knicks. He could have went anywhere, but he chose LA because he wanted to live in LA and he wanted to set up his future life in LA. So I feel like OBJ is kind of in that point of his career where he wants to kind of start settling down.
And he does have the kid and stuff now.
Well, the two places I think he could end up going back to the Rams because he was very happy there. He wasn't going to go there. But now they're going to be shopping for a receiver this offseason. The whole what's his name?
Robinson
just did not work out at all.
That was a train wreck.
So I think that he could go to LA, and I also think something else could happen if the Giants don't pay Saquon. I think Saquon and Odell could end up going to the Chicago Bears, having Saquon and Justin Fields running the ball, and then have Odell helping out at receiver there because they need receivers, and they have so much cap. So that could be something that the Bears jump onto so they could like eventually start winning some more football games.
Yeah, that's a big one. That's a good take.
That's definitely a possibility.
Because I know Odell wants to play with Saquon again.
And I mean, like I said, like Saquon's gonna want some money, and just the weapons haven't. That's like it's like the same thing. Like imagine like wherever Lamar's at. Imagine like Saquon with Lamar.
Mm-hmm.
Like running the ball. Like you run a read option. What are you supposed to do as a defense?
It sucks too because the Giants. It sucks like with the Kenny Golladay thing for the Giants, man, because it's like another Allen Robinson story over there. It's just not working out, and they paid him so much money, dude. Like that really sucks. And even if you wanted to trade him, nobody's gonna pick up that trade for that money. You know what I mean? Like that's just a shame, dude.
Yeah, Galladay was a waste going to New York. That's easily they can't even release him.
What did they pay him? $20 million a year for 4 years.
Yeah, he got like a 4-year, 70 some mil contract.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah. So, I mean, what Odell? East, I know you had something to say. I seen you got cut off. What did you have to say about Odell?
About Odell?
Yeah.
I think he could probably stay in LA.
Yeah,
I think he might go back to the Rams.
I seen there was these kids on TikTok, dude, who live actually like 3 houses from him in LA. These like kids. So yeah, I can see him like staying in LA, like trying to make a home. Whether it's the LA Chargers, if Keenan Allen gets cut, even though they have no money.
That's a good one, dude.
There's ways though. There's a lot of ways that you can go and restructure stuff to get. But dude, Odell is a guy right now. He's like, I'm in my final stages of my career. I want that money and I want the years. It's not a 1-year deal. He wants a multiple year deal. So we'll see what happens with him. I can see him going back to the Rams. Maybe there's a possible though. He's like, if I want out, whatever. But I don't know if the Rams are ever going to come back to what they were. Kittle said Purdy has a job to lose, and Trey Lance said he wants a chance. If you're going into 2023 and 2024 season, do you take Brock Purdy over Trey Lance? And obviously, I think that's a yes.
Yeah.
But what do you do with Trey Lance then? Do you sit him or trade him?
I would try to trade Trey Lance while he's young and you can still get something out of him, because I think that's just it's weird to say too because they went to the same school and I'm pretty sure that they got drafted both with the second overall pick. It's just another Carson Wentz story over there, dude, with Trey Lance. Like it's not working out over there for him. Dude, what does he have? 4 games worth of snaps or something like that in 2 years? That's really not good, dude. I don't even think it's worth hanging on to him anymore. Try to get rid of him while you can to a team that's desperate. That's what I would do.
I think the 49ers are going to ride with Trey Lance, honestly. I think
You think?
You think they're going to ride with him?
I think he'll be the day one starter. I think they'll see how he plays out, because I mean, you say he's only played what, four games?
Mm-hmm.
He hasn't had the opportunity to play in any more. His first year, he was benched the whole year. His second year, he got hurt. So I don't think there's a big enough sample size for them to say, okay, we're getting rid of him. Because being the second overall pick, you have so much potential. Like I don't think they're just gonna let him go.
But that's why I think you trade him, because he still has all that value being the second overall pick. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I don't
you
know.
also lose a lot of money.
I don't know anyone that's gonna be willing to trade for him when
That's true.
he's only played so many games and already tore his ACL.
That is true, yeah.
There's teams that would be willing to give up something for him, obviously, but
Yeah, but not what
I agree. Yeah, I agree with you. Who wants to do that when he's played how many games? Yeah. But wow, you're thinking that they'll go and like do that to Purdy? Yep. To be honest.
Well, I don't even know if Purdy will be available for week 1.
He's supposed to be ready by training camp.
I don't know. I feel like they'll start Trey Lance, and if he starts performing badly, they'll put Purdy in.
is he going to be ready or is he going to be game ready? You know what I mean?
Well, dude, in training
good
camp,
pick.
you have training camp, and then you have a couple months till the not Super Bowl, till the regular season.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know, I should have put the Bears down a little bit ago. I'm saying the Super Bowl is happening right after training camp.
You're starting your Super Bowl bender right now.
Yeah. Well, we're going on a little Thursday to Sunday one, so we'll see. But all right, we'll go off of the Purdy. What about Tom Brady broadcasting in 2024, making $375 a mil a year? But Dylan said, "What'd you say, Dylan?"
Why 2024? Are you taking your 1 year of retirement so you could just enjoy a year, do the things you've been wanting to do for how many years now? But that just seems a little bit odd to me because, yeah, you train all year around, but in football, it's not like basketball. Football, you have 6 months off a year, technically. I mean, yeah, you wake up, you train in the morning and stuff, but like he could take a week off and stuff to do the things he always wanted to do then. So I just think it's all set up because who was on the podcast last week? Bill Belichick. It's getting set up that it's just going to come out of nowhere. Brady's going to be coming back to New England, and he's going to be with Belichick. And Gronk's coming back too. Gronk retired last year. He took his year off just like he did before he came to the Bucs, and he's going to come back to New England. And there's going to be one last dance.
There's no way.
I'm telling you, I think Brady does. He says he doesn't like the attention. And he just doesn't want to.
He loves it. He loves it.
He absolutely loves it. You don't just retire, come out of retirement. He's probably sitting at his ex-wife's door right now doing the open the door, That's him at the door right now because he just retired. And then when she says, "Nah, I ain't taking you back," it's all right. Well, then I guess I'm going back to play.
I mean, go ahead, Ethan.
As crazy as that sounds, I don't doubt it. I said a couple weeks ago before Brady retired, I was like, I don't know where he's gonna play, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's playing another year. So I wouldn't doubt it, and he does love the attention. He definitely. Oh my God, I don't even know. But
I have to start crying.
I don't think that he is going to come back.
I'm sure they're just laughing right now thinking about the open the door. Like, it's so stupid.
What do you think, Steve?
I don't know, man. I don't think he is going to come back because I just think he's at the point of his life where why should he? But I do think that is a pretty good take, man. I do think that, but minus the Gronk thing, I don't think Gronk's going to come back. But I do think if Brady was to come back, he would go to New England. I think that would be the only way that he would come back, honestly.
Yeah, well, I would say maybe even a Raider, but we'll see.
For now, I think we've seen the end of the GOAT, man.
Yeah.
Here comes Edelman out of the tunnel too.
Julian's a good. He deserves a little bit. He deserves another fucking off some playing time. But we'll wrap this up. Thank you for watching episode 9 of The Fade. Stay tuned. We got the Philadelphia podcast, UFC podcast coming out tonight, and in about a week, we'll have the NBA podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in.
We'll see you guys in the off season.
Go Chiefs.
See you in the off season.